When gold was discovered in Victoria in 1850, it set off a chain of events that still reverberate through these mountains today. First, the pioneers came with shovel and pan, working the alluvial fields along the streams and creeks. Later, big reef miners came in with heavy machinery. Today, there are literally hundreds of sites scattered throughout the Alps. Some small, nothing more than a scrape in the ground, others with huge machinery. On this adventure, we're going to go and find some of those sites and have a look at what our pioneers did to open up this great country. Our trip will take us from the Cassilis goldfields, just east of the small hamlet of Swifts Creek, to the rich gold mines of Glenwills before we head back to Omeo to check out one of the richest alluvial goldfields in Victoria. From there, we'll head over to the Dargo Crooked River fields and then cross the mountains in the footsteps of those early miners to the headwaters of the Haukel River and the Haukel River goldfields. It'll be a great trip through some magnificent mountain country following this fantastic heritage we have. Now this is a really handy thing for four-wheel drivers. In Victoria, all the four-wheel drive tracks have been rated by the National Four-Wheel Drive Association. You can see here, green is easy, medium, black diamond is difficult, double black diamond is very difficult. A bit like the ski bloody runs in the ski resorts. So it works really well. When you get up to here, you're getting into some really rugged country. So you've got to be prepared and also be experienced. But remember, it's only a guide, and this is for dry conditions. And if it's raining or wet, it gets a lot tougher. We're at the entrance to the King Cassilis mine, one of the richest mines in the Cassilis Long Gully goldfields south of Omeo. Around here there are literally hundreds of mines. This is one of the biggest, with mine shafts and drives penetrating deep underground. The ore was brought out on little trolley carts, ran it up to the edge of the hill and dumped to the processing plant below. Let's go and have a look at it. This is some of the earliest equipment on the field. Can you imagine dragging this through these mountains to get it to this place? Unbelievable. Anyway, when the ore was tipped out of the mine up the hill, it was fed through a series of crushers, stampers first, and then through this orbital crusher, before going into more processing further on. Initially, it was steam powered, and then it became electric powered by the first hydro scheme in Victoria, up on the Victoria Falls, about 30-40 kilometres away. A mammoth undertaking. It was never entirely successful, but they still got an awful lot of gold out of this mine. Anyway, let's go and have a look at another form of mining that was prevalent through these mountains. While we're heading there, let's go over to Matt to learn about this bloody fantastic LandCruiser we've got with us.
Someone we're really happy to have along in our high country adventure is Lee Hardman from Mark's Four Wheel Drive and his amazing 79 series LandCruiser. Welcome to the high country, Lee.
Yeah, g'day Matt. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Mate, where else would you rather be on a weekday?
Yeah, not at work. This is the place to be.
This is the place to work for sure. Mate, your LandCruiser with its portal axles, 6-speed auto conversion, when we had it in the magazine 18 months ago, the readers loved it. But there's been a bit of development going on since then. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yes, it's evolved quite a bit. We upgraded the GVM. It was 3,780 kilos. It's now 3,950 kilos. So we've manufactured or fabricated our own complete rediff housing. But the truck itself, it's evolved. So new wheels, new suspension, new bar, new canopy, seats, ARB fuel tank, the list goes on.
So it sounds like you've really been building the truck up as a tourer, a very capable tourer at that, but yeah, you've been away on a trip with it?
Yeah, last year I took my wife and 2 kids. We went to the Kimberley, 25,000 Ks and had a ball. The truck was fantastic.
So that's obviously really good R&D for your business as well, proving the products that you're manufacturing.
Yeah, customers see the vehicle and they knew it. They'd seen it in your magazine and it always went down well. It's a great conversation starter.
And talking about the portal axles, how many sets of them have you sold in the last 2 years or so?
In the last 6 months, the sales have gone through the roof. At the moment, we can't keep up. We're probably selling 6 to 8 sets a month.
That's incredible, isn't it? But you've only got to look at the car, look at the stance of it, and you can see the clearance it gives you. It's pretty amazing. It's legal on 35-inch tyres.
Yeah, well, that's it. It has great stability. It's comfortable. It's a family car. I drive it to work. I drive it away on weekends.
So driving around here in the high country, the car's looking super capable. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun up here.
Yeah, no, it's great. You'll have to take it for a test drive yourself. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, common problem in the high country. I've got another tree down the track today. This is the third tree we've had down on the track. We're not going to chop this one with a chainsaw or push it out by hand, so luckily we've got a truck around the outside, so we'll take that one and drive around it.
Our route took us across the fabulous Mitamita River and deep into the mountains to Glenwill's, one of the largest preserved mining sites in the high country. We're at the site of one of the great mining ventures in Victoria. This is the Moredaniella mines and the processing plant. Up until 2003 it was in remarkably good condition, even though work had stopped here in 1952. Huge amount of gold had been recovered here. At one stage it was the richest gold mine in Victoria. Let's go and meet a guy who's brought back to life one of the great pieces of machinery that drove this place. I'm with Ted Gilliam, who runs and looks after this incredible piece of machinery. Tell us a little bit more about it, Ted.
Well, I'm a diesel engineer by trade, so this is what I have done for a living for 50 odd years. It's a big Ruston Hornsby, 12HC. Got purchased by the mine, well, late 30s I presume,
Yep.
and early 40s or around 1940 it was put in here to drive that big air compressor for drilling and for winch work in the mine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been working on this for how many years?
For about 5.5 years at the moment,
Okay.
with a group of other men.
Yep.
We're through Parks Victoria, got permission from them.
Yep.
To restore the thing.
Because this is on Parks Victoria land.
Parks Victoria land. Parks Victoria are the custodians of it, but it's owned by the people of Victoria.
Yeah, my word. So how many hours of work?
To get it like that, and for the whole group, it's about 4,000 hours work, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've put in nearly 1,500 on my own, and so has my mate.
And you've had it running?
We've had it running, yes. Started and run it about 30 times for different people, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes. Quite a few sceptics that said it would never go, but they didn't know us very well.
You want to show us around a little bit?
Yeah, okay. These are the governor weights, and they were stolen in 1990. They disappeared as well.
Yeah.
And they said, oh shit, where are we going to get them from? I tell you, you tell somebody else, and it went all the way down to Melbourne and back again. And they were in a shed in Euroa, in a bloke's back shed. The bloke was only too happy to give them back, but he thought he might do something with them. So they are the original ones. They got the engine number on them, yeah.
Fantastic.
In 1907, they fitted that Pelton-driven compressor. That was just a blob of rust. It was actually mounted on big Oregon beams, and I've only just lifted it up in the last month and got the whole thing turning again. The noise would have been phenomenal, but
Yeah.
so now we've got it turning again.
Wow.
And this hasn't turned now for over 60 years. Last time this would have turned was in 1950.
That's fantastic. Just up the road from the Yellow Girl ruins and that incredible engine is a much more poignant place, the Glenwill Cemetery. When you come to these places, you can't help but notice the age of many of the young kids that are buried here. It was a pretty risky business being a kid in those days. Our track then took us south to Omeo, across the original route of the miners along the Knocker track, today now used by heavy machinery and trucks for logging operations in these hills. When in 1851 gold was discovered along Livingston Creek, a huge rush set into this Omeo region. Within a few years there were hundreds of miners working the creek in the whole area. Initially they used pans and cradles, and later hydraulic sluicing to tear away the earth and form these great cliffs. Huge amounts of soil were washed downstream, so much so in 1904 that Sludge Abatement Company was formed and all mining was stopped along the creek. In those 50 years, something like 1.5 tonnes of gold were recovered from here, worth about 60 to 70 million in today's terms. Before we push on, let's go and have a look at another great Aussie product from LightForce.
Four-wheel drivers are presented with so many different options now for vehicle lighting. Light bars, round lights, square lights, HID, LED, halogen, who knows what works best. LightForce has a product that combines HID technology with LED lights to give you the best of both worlds. Craig Brumby, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so our HTX is absolutely our flagship product at the moment, with a 70 watt HID in the centre and 80 watts of LEDs around the outside. What you'll get is a combined 1.7 kilometres of distance down the road, combined with up to 90 metres of spread out in front of you from the LED. Now, the real benefit with these lights is they're individually switchable. So you can run just the HID or just the LED, or fire them all up together for the ultimate performance and the absolute maximum light.
It sounds really good. Like you see some of these blokes out there and they've got a set of round lights and a light bar on top of the bull bar, which is probably going to be illegal as well and stuff like that. So you're saying you get all that same performance out of just one set of round lights?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a long time in development. We saw the writing on the wall for the legalities behind where do you mount a light bar. And people still want that real long penetrating distance, but they want the close range flood as well. Combining the two into one pair of driving lights is absolutely groundbreaking. We are the only company in the world that's been able to do it, and we are absolutely wrapped with the quality of the product.
Yeah, they sound amazing. Ronnie's got a set on his truck. Let's see how they work.
No worries.
We're doing a bit of a late drive, getting into camp late at night. I just love driving behind these lights. You know, I've driven a lot at night behind a whole pile of different driving lights, but these are superb. These LightForce HTXs are just pure magic. The 70 watts of HID light up way down the road, while the 80 watts of LED light up the edges of the road and up close. Just makes for a magic combination, which makes driving at night a real pleasure and a lot safer. Just to show you the difference from a normal high beam on a LandCruiser, which you probably think's not too bad, and then it's an incredible difference when you switch on these lights. And you can switch on the HIDs or the LEDs separately, and you can see the difference that it lights up the road. Fabulous. In daylight, we headed across the mountains to the Dargo Crooked River Goldfields, now one of the most popular four-wheel drive destinations in the Victorian High Country, and some of the steepest to walk through. The Dargo Crooked River Goldfields was one of the most preeminent in the Alps. Gold had been discovered up here in about the 1850s, but it wasn't until 1854 when Alfred Howard came up along this creek in this valley, the Crooked River, which he named, and discovered gold. He immediately lost all his men, they all deserted, and he had to finish the job of surveying on his own. But the place really got going when they discovered reef gold up in these hills, and mining started in earnest. In 1865, the township of Grant had a population of 2,000 people and 15 pubs, while along the river there were a whole heap of little towns. There was a huge American influence around that time. It was the end of the Civil War, so you get names like Stonewall after Stonewall Jackson, Grant after Ulysses Grant, Winchester after the Great Rifle. So yeah, I mean, there was a huge American influence up here. Where they dragged their machinery to and all that sort of stuff just beggars belief. Let's go and have a look at some. We're at the new Good Hope gold mine, just down the hill from the old township of Grant. This was an extremely rich mine, produced about 21,000 ounces of gold. And then in a bit of rush of fever, they decided they'd punch another tunnel from this side of the hill into the mountain. It ended up 1,000 metres long, and they dragged all this equipment down here to work, well, they hoped, and get some gold. It never really eventuated, and by 1915 the mine had been abandoned and they left this machinery here. It's a steep walk up from the valley to this site, but it's pretty impressive and gives you some indication of how much effort they went to bring in this heavy machinery into these steep mountains. Anyway, down the bottom of the hill, there's a few other sites I want to show you. Let's go and have a look at them. Right along the Crooked River, hidden in amongst the scrub, there are literally hundreds of old mine shafts where the early diggers searched for their gold strike. Some are pretty shallow and others are quite deep. So when you're here, take care. The Crooked River track to Talbotville is a popular four-wheel drive route with numerous creek crossings. The track zigzagging this way and that as it crosses the creek. All pretty easy at the moment with the river being so low. This park-like expanse was once the thriving community of Talbotville. Today, it's the most popular camping area in the region and gateway to some iconic four-wheel drive tracks, including the fabulous Billy Goat Bluff, where we're going to head right now. The Billy Goat Bluff track is one of the most fantastic tracks in the High Country. Great views, challenging, and a really steep drop down into the Warrangatta River. Well, we'll just pick this little fella up and just put him in a tree. Otherwise something's gonna eat him. Hey, here you go, little fella. Hey. I think an eagle's got him or something. Look at all the marks on his head. Something's attacked him. We'll put him in this tree over here. Yeah, cute little bird, fabulous little bird, little night predator. You often hear him calling, but he's not in the best of health. Hopefully, we've given him a chance to survive anyway. Leave him to his own devices. Once you've climbed Billy Goat Bluff, you come to this spot, the Pinnacles Lookout, with an expansive view of the mountains from the Wellington Plains over here, the Howard Plains, across to the Gibraltar Range over here. Somewhere in there is the hidden valley of the Warrangatta, and that's where we're heading to next. We're in delightful Bendery Flat on the banks of the Howard River. It's a magical spot. I've been coming here for years. This hut is the third to be built on this site, and this one was built in 1937 for tourism purposes to attract bushwalkers and cross-country skiers into the Mansfield district. Well, that worked, and it's been attracting four-wheel drivers for nearly as long. Recently, the hut has been rejuvenated by the Victorian High Country Huts Association, so it's looking better than ever. Let's check out the back of the MSA truck, which has got some great product in it. Matt's been testing it lately.
MSA 4x4 Accessories is synonymous for its canvas interior products. Heavy duty seat covers, seat back organisers, lumbar supports, all good stuff to protect the inside of your car. But in more recent times, the company has brought its quality products to the back of the vehicle with these innovative storage solutions. Fridge slides, drop-down fridge slides, and the all-new roller drawer systems. We love the fridge slides for their quality finishes, simple designs, and ease of use. It's just simply a matter of unlocking it there, hit the release, slide out smoothly, and lower it down to a workable height. Then anyone, no matter how short or tall, can reach in, get whatever they want out. Easy access. Getting your fridge back into the vehicle again, just pull the lever over, it all goes up on gas struts, smooth and easy, hit the release, and just slides back into place. You can lock it in so it's nice and safe when you're travelling. Couldn't be any easier. The most recent product of the MSA catalogue is its new aluminium storage drawers. Now there are plenty of drawers out there, but these are different. They've just gone that extra level to make them more functional than ever. Lightweight aluminium construction, ease of use, quality fittings again, just like the fridge slides. And you can see the way it's come all the way out. There's not many drawers on the market that will do that. I could jump in there and stand on it, there's plenty of strength in it. They use these nice big rollers rather than the individual little loose ball runners. You're not going to get any dust into these drawers. Look, there's none of it in the back of here, it's all in the back of the ute. They've even gone to the extent of putting these LED lights inside here which light up to make it easier to see stuff at night. Really clever thinking. So that's locked firmly in place there when it's fully out. Give it a push, runs in and locks securely in there, it's not going to move anywhere. Another thing I love about the MSA drawers is the fact that they've been crash tested. Now, I don't know of any other company that's done that. MSA had an independent company build a test rig where they put basically this setup with the drawers, a fridge slide, in the fridge cage with a fridge on there. It was set up for a Toyota Prado. Put that on a test rig and crashed it into a wall. And the thing didn't move, so it meets all the Australian standards. Now, when you think about someone sitting in front of this unit in a wagon, that's good to know, reassuring for your family.
While we were here at the hut at the headwaters of the Howker River, we were lucky enough to meet up with a group of riders following in the footsteps of those early pioneers who came across the mountains, either walking or, the richer ones, riding a horse. Today, you can capture a sense of those times by taking to horseback and riding in their footsteps. We've done it a couple of times over the years. It's a fantastic experience in this Victorian High Country. We've met up with Bruce McCormick from McCormick's Mountain Valley Trail Rides. Where are you riding to today?
Just up the top end of the Howker today, Ron.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, you do a range of rides up through this country?
We do, Ron, yeah. Probably the 2 hour stuff we do around the Merrijig area,
yeah,
back where home is, and then we run into day trips to Craig's Hut all the time, and 7 day trips into Wanangata, 5 day trips past Howard, and anywhere really.
It's a magic way to see the high country.
I reckon it's a great way.
Now, your family's been involved in the high country for a long time.
They have,
Ron. Tell us a little bit about the heritage.
I suppose they come from Tipperary and Ireland for a start. In 1866, they settled in Merrijig. And the earliest documentations we've got of the old diaries of when we had cattle out the mountains is 1900.
Okay.
We've still got our cattle now in the state forest area, not in the national park.
So do you maintain a hut up here as well?
Yeah, we've got a hut over near Pinnacles Flat.
Okay.
We use it in our trail rides now, and we've developed it a bit bigger because of the commercial part of the trail rides.
Yep.
And we go there nearly every weekend we're there, or part of a 3 or 4 day trip somewhere like that, yeah.
It's just the epitome, the image of the high country. It is the horse.
Well, I think it is.
Yeah, my word, it is.
I think it is, and there's nothing better, especially a day like today, riding around out here.
Yeah.
You know, it's something. Where else would you want to be, really?
Yeah.
It's just great. I know I get a real kick out of showing people the country, and it's a great way to see when you're driving along. You sort of don't look out there, and suddenly you can watch that tree over there, or that something there, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, I just love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great way to travel. And lots of heritage, and it just evokes all those images.
It does.
Yeah.
Especially when you sit around the fire at night.
Yeah,
A lot of the stories start to come up and what happened and things like that. And no, it's great.
good stuff. Good
That's
stuff.
good.
Well, I better let you go.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very
Nice
much.
to catch up.
Yeah, it was fantastic, mate.
Have a good
Fantastic.
day.
We've ended our fabulous Goldfields adventure here at Fry's Flat on the banks of the Halka River in the Halka Hills Goldfields. It was just one of the many sites opened up by the gold miners when they came over the range to this place. We've done much the same, starting our trip in Omeo and then coming up to Glenwills and having the luck to meet the diesel engineer who had done that engine up. Absolutely fantastic. Then we came up through the Wanangata, following in the route of the pioneers to this place. It's been a fabulous trip, and you can do the same.